pussy got the hairy fro.
Glamps in the majors. Your life turned to flipping pages. All the real talent behind them cages.
Thank you guys for tuning back in with us. We're back here at Overtime Live Sports Bet Radio. It's that time of the year again, man. It's football season. Week 1's coming up, so we got to get ready to get our bets together, make that big investment, you know. I appreciate all you guys who are returning viewers. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, that notification bell. We're going to be doing this all season long. If you're familiar with our other content, we're on different platforms, posting tickets, tips, picks. You know, we got the vlog. Make sure to get on Facebook and join that Overtime Live Sports Bet group. And that's pretty entertaining stuff. You know, people posting tickets on there, giving up-to-date tips. Like if you haven't put in your bet, you can go on there and check something out. You might see an injury or a lineup change, maybe a pitcher change. You know, all that stuff can heavily affect your decision. So we're going to try to jump right into it, make this quick. Make sure you check out our sponsors at teamspadespoker.com. We're also brought to you by gilbertyoungart.com and also Coronatizer LLC. Make sure you guys look into that. Coronatizer's high-end Sanipod solution. It fights against, you know, all that monkeypox, chickenpox, coronavirus, all that shit. We'll get it started here. Game 1, man. We got a full schedule. So obviously the picks are likely to change due to injury or spread movement. You know, that spread's going to be moving all the way up until kickoff. So be aware of that. Some like to get it early, some like to get it late. I think it varies based on which game it is and the circumstances. So the draft's all done. Players have been traded, and we're on to a new season. And I prefer betting on the NFL if you're going to bet bigger money. You know, I've had a really good baseball season, still working on it. But benefits to the NFL, or like during game, I think it's just more entertaining in general. So it's funner to bet on stuff that you actually enjoy watching. But it's harder to lose a lead, man. You can really blow somebody out and just be done with it real fast. So it's almost that rush makes you want to pay more attention to play-by-play. And the prop bets are amazing. You know, you can really have a great time betting props. It's just one of the more entertaining things you can do for newer players. It's if you bet on like a player to perform a specific act based on statistics or probability that act will occur. So you can bet on pretty much anything, man. They'll let you bet on a fumble, let you bet on interception. Obviously, different amount of touchdowns. It's great in playoffs. You know, I missed a big prop last year because Cooper Kupp couldn't get me enough yards in the playoffs. But let's go ahead and get into it, man. I'll try to be fast. I'm moving kind of slow. But first game's going to be that Buffalo Bills game against the Rams. They're going to L.A. Buffalo obviously looking like one of the front runners for the AFC, if not the Super Bowl. I think they showed last year that they're just as good as any other team in the league, probably better than most. Josh Allen, obviously MVP caliber quarterback. I think they have improved a lot. Adding Von Miller is a big part of it. You know, I just see him as that guy that's going to get a bunch of rings in a weird fashion. You know, I don't know how he's going to do it, but he's already had a great career, and I think he really helps that team a lot. Worth every penny, probably. We're going to LA though to play the champs. You know, reigning champs. See how they look. Aaron Donald got into some off the field stuff that might be impacting his mentality or how people are going to be approaching him at this game. That could mess with him subliminally. But I just see Buffalo being a better team. The spread, they're only giving up 2.5 points. They're on the road. And definitely money line any spread that's less than 4 points. Just go ahead and money line it. Lose that extra money or take it away or add it. But if you're a parlay bettor, you know, you don't want one game to lose your parlay by half a point. So it's pointless. It's not really. If you're not going to win the parlay, then nothing else matters. The second game, we're gonna take Buffalo money line on that first game. Second game is going to be the 49ers going to Chicago. Both of these teams I expect to have mediocre seasons. I don't know what San Francisco's quarterback situation is, but obviously for now they're stuck with Trey Lance. He's a very young player. Going to a tough environment. Chicago Bears fans are they're strong no matter how good the team's doing. We're going to go ahead and take the Bears. This will be one of our first upsets for the week. Get the 7 points for sure. I think Bears can win that money line, so we're going to take Bears plus 7. I think it's going to be, pretty much a toss-up game. I wouldn't be surprised if it was 10-3 at the end of the game, but that's why you take the points when you think you can win straight up. Next game is Baltimore going to the Jets. The Jets are obviously a horrible team, horrible franchise. They've been horrible for a long time. I don't see them getting any better. Baltimore, Lamar Jackson's on his contract year, so he's going to be focusing on having the best year he can. He's playing for millions of dollars. And I don't see why they wouldn't just blow them out. So we're going to go ahead and take Baltimore minus 7. I think Baltimore's still just as good as they have been. They have been good enough to beat a lot of teams. Jets are doing what the Jets do. They draft really good players, and for some reason, something about the culture there just kills them. They just disintegrate. So I feel sorry for Garrett Wilson, who's I think is going to be one of the elite wide receivers this year. I feel sorry for him having to be put there. And obviously Zach Wilson's just not. I mean, he is as good as he looks. He doesn't look like a really good quarterback. So, anyway, Baltimore over the Jets minus 7. That's a really good game. That's probably a lock. I think Baltimore blows them out bad. Next game is Cleveland going to Carolina. I like this game a lot. I like Baker Mayfield going back and having to play Cleveland, but at least he gets to take them on it in his home stadium. His first home game for the Panthers. Small favorites, definitely a good game to bet on. I'd take them Carolina money line. I think it'll be a high-scoring game too, but I'm interested. I'm sure that the Deshaun Watson thing is impacting the whole franchise. It's just a really big disaster, and everybody handled it in the worst way. Just even taking him with that risk. No one player is good enough to win you a Super Bowl unless it's Tom Brady. But even in those circumstances, he's been put in some favorable franchises. So definitely gonna take Carolina Panthers money line at home. Good game. That's another one, a good damn near a lot. The next game's going to be Indianapolis Colts going to Houston. Houston's been really poorly managed in recent years. Colts have been trying desperately to make a run with the Jonathan Taylor situation. With having one of the best players in the league, you really have to move fast, try to build a team around him to make a run. So these geniuses go and get Matty Ice. On the decline of his career. I mean, as a Falcons fan, I can never forgive him for what happened in the Super Bowl. So I don't know what they expect out of him. So for that game, I'm going to actually, if I look at my notes, I'm taking the Colts minus the 8, but I think the 8 is a little bit too much. I'm confident Matt Ryan will probably have a mediocre game. So because of the 8 points, I'll have to take Houston plus the 8. Expect Jonathan Taylor to have 180 yards, but Houston plus the 8 for that game. Next game, Jacksonville going to the Commanders, they're called now. The Commanders. Jacksonville's led by Trevor Lawrence, who's absolutely in no way, shape, or form built for that position. Commanders will probably get this with the home field advantage. The game's set at -3, which is pretty much a home field flip. I've set my fantasy. I'm going to take the defense that's playing Jacksonville every game of the year, because I think Trevor Lawrence is a fluke. Kind of like Zach Wilson. I don't know why they push these kids into these positions where they don't stand a chance. So I would imagine that Jacksonville probably puts up 3 points, and the Commanders get like 12, 14 points. I'm going to take Washington. I could probably give up the 3 in that game and take Washington Commanders money line, just because obviously matchups favor the Commanders. Deeper running core, a few good wide receivers, better coach by far, and they're at home. Home field matters a lot in football, so always remember that. The next game on the schedule is the New England Patriots going down to Miami. I like Miami a lot. I was thinking Patriots all preseason, all fantasy football draft long. I was thinking Patriots, but I'm gonna have to take Miami in this. I would definitely money line it. It seems like a 3-point game. They're giving up 3, so we take it money line. I just see the matchups better. I think Miami, at its core, is a sleeper team. I think they're gonna upset some teams this year. And Tua's probably going to have a way better year. I think he's a player that will improve. They got a great wide receiver core. Waddle, Hill. I mean, the running back core is not that shallow either. With Mostert, Edmonds. Edmonds had a great start in Arizona. And Miles Gaskins. Miles Gaskins has great days, man. There's days where he can come out there and really look like he's carrying the team, get a bunch of plays on the ball. So for that game, we're going to take Miami at home, money line that. Next game is the Saints-Falcons. Big rivalry game. Every year they're going to split it. Saints are looking improved, I guess. They're still stuck in their quarterback situation. Jameis Winston's obviously not the guy to win you a Super Bowl. So it's kind of hard to invest in a strategy from a manager's perspective when you don't plan on winning the Super Bowl. Like, are you just trying to get to the playoffs? But anyway, obviously the Saints are better than the Falcons. Falcons one of the worst projected teams in the NFL. Actually, I think they're second to the worst in betting odds for winning the Super Bowl. So you could probably get about 300 to 1 betting on the Falcons to win the Super Bowl right now. So even at home, I see the Falcons losing this. The 5.5 does seem like a lot to me. You got to be very careful with your spreads in football because they're based on scoring increments of 6, 1, 3, and 2. So with those numbers, it's very easy for them to precisely, when in the development of the spreads, it's very easy for them to figure out how to trick people. Like that 5.5 is a very tricky one. It's not even a full score. So they're pretty much basing it on field goals, telling me it'll probably be a lower scoring game. 5.5 points is a lot to add to your final score. So Falcons at home should be able to get that. So that's a really tough game to pick. But I think the Saints show up. I think the Saints have a lot more heart, a lot more to prove. Their defense alone is really well built. The Saints are not a scrub team. They could easily come out and have one of the best starts of their franchise. But I do see them blowing out the Falcons. Falcons are just terrible. They're one of those organizations that doesn't seem to be making any improvements in their front office, in their personnel, or their recruiting and drafting. So they don't really seem like they're trying to get better. So we're going to take the Saints minus 5.5 in that game. That's a tough game to pick. So we're just trying to get as many as possible. You don't shoot to hit them all unless you're betting on a 16-game parlay, which I wouldn't recommend even wasting your money on. So you take from these picks and you break them down. You put together smaller picks and groups. The parlays need to be about 3 games, 5 games, 6, 7, based on your bankroll and how you want to spend it. You have to remember, you don't want to be too greedy and you don't want to let the machine trick you. Like the system that is the sports betting algorithm is very well designed. It's been around for a long time. So you can't just sit there and let that system mind fuck you and then later you look back and you say, I'm so stupid for letting it do that when I knew it was happening and I thought about it before and all this, but it's too late. Okay, the next game on the schedule is going to be the Eagles going up against the Detroit Lions. Lions are going to be another really bad team. Jared Goff, I don't know how he's made a career out of this. He's been in the playoffs when he was in a great system, but he's still starting and he's clearly a second or third string quarterback. So Jared Goff's going to suck. Meanwhile, the Eagles are this division sleeper. Everybody thinks that they can beat Dallas for that division. And Jalen Hurts looks amazing. And, Devontae Smith. And they got some weapons. So the Eagles are looking like they're going to have 8-9 win season minimum. But meanwhile, they're coming into this game a small favorite on the road. So that's a really good game. I love the Eagles in that game. I'll moneyline that still, just because it's at 4. Don't let that field goal kill you. 4 points is a lot in football. It's even more in baseball, but it's a lot in football. So go ahead and take the Eagles money line on that. I see some good matchups. I see, I don't know. I see DeAndre Swift having a big game. I see Jared Goff choking. I see him throwing 2 picks, maybe a pick 6. So I see Jared Goff being the reason that they lose that game. And I think the Eagles, everybody's on the Eagles bandwagon. I think that they're the team to beat Dallas, maybe even make a run in the playoffs. So next game is Philly against Cincy. We'll see how Burrow's health is doing for this game. So it was still more of a game time decision. Definitely Cincy's a favorite. Definitely got more weapons, better matchup, better team chemistry. Eagles not the Eagles, Steelers might have a better coach. So it's going to be a closer game than people say. 6.5 is perfect, so they can win by a touchdown. I like the Bengals minus the 7. I would imagine Burrow's going to be playing. And even without Burrow, then I would think they'd be an even matchup. But I still think that they're healthy. Mixon's got a lot to prove, of course. Chase is going to want to show out. All of them. They got a great wide receiver core. I see Cincinnati making another good playoff run, probably a 10-win season, especially in a weaker division. Baltimore's obviously not as strong as people want them to be. Browns are the Browns, and then all they got to do is beat up this Steelers team. And I see Cincy having a great season. So we're going to take Cincy minus the 7, maybe get a blowout in that game. Next game is Green Bay against Minnesota. It's a new Green Bay season, man. Everything's feeling different there just because of one player, it seems like. So we're going to see if Aaron Rodgers can get it done. He's already done everything to prove himself to me. Very outspoken out in the social networking world. I saw him on a Joe Rogan podcast recently. And he did a great job to me. I thought he had a great interview. I don't know, I guess I'm an Aaron Rodgers fan. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. You get back-to-back MVPs. Playoff struggles are one thing, but it is what it is. He's still going to be the best quarterback in the league. Going into Minnesota is a really, really good, talented team that has a lot to prove. The line speaks for itself. Being the first game of the season, people don't know what to expect. But a 2-point spread in this game, I think Packers should clearly be favored, having the reigning MVP, obviously the better team. On the road in Minnesota, those are two stadiums that are very fan-friendly, to the home team, I should say. Minnesota's got weapons. Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, obviously Thielen. They're very, very – I think Kirk Cousins is an inch from having them as a dominant team in the NFL. Literally, man. If he would just step it up an inch, they got everything they need. Maybe if they could just – Cook stays healthy. This Minnesota game is going to be a tough one. This is going to be a statement game. It's going to say a lot, and I think that the quarterback matchup is ultimately what it's going to come down to. I don't think Green Bay has the wide receiver core that he needs. It's going to be a lot of Aaron Jones, a lot of screen passes to Aaron Jones, and I got to take Minnesota at home. That +2 is a little suspicious, and I think Minnesota is probably one of the best looking teams. I mean, they got Harrison back there at safety. It's going to be tough. But I think I got to take Minnesota in that at home. That's another really good game. Probably that's a great straight-up bet, but definitely put that on a 3-game ticket. Put together 3 games you're comfortable with. The next game is the Chiefs against the Cardinals. So Pat Mahomes coming back, obviously disappointed. It's always Super Bowl or bust for him. So Arizona been trying to make moves, had a lot of off-season action. Kyler Murray, first he wants to leave, then he wants to stay, he wants some more money. They're not really getting him any established weapons, so he's really working with a lot of miscellaneous pieces. I think the chemistry's missing, and so with the Chiefs going on the road to Arizona, this could be anything, man. This is a good one. Okay, the Chiefs running game they're very deep at the running back position. They have a great rookie talent out there right now, so I think that they have the advantage on the ground. The Arizona Cardinals defense, I think, is probably the only thing that let up, and Pat Mahomes is still one of the best quarterbacks in history. He's going to put on a show. The Tyreek Hill factor changes everything. So he brought in some replacements, some very good, well-established replacements. And I think he'll still be able to get the job done. I think the wide receiver position is a lot easier to fill than any other position except maybe a lineman, maybe just because of the size. But you can find somebody who can either run a route better, has more speed, or has better hands. Tyreek Hill was just that type of talent. He had everything, but he didn't have the size. So at the same time, that was never their downfall. Offense was never a problem for the Chiefs. They managed to lose on defense, but I still think they're going to be making a deep playoff run this year, and I do think that they will be Super Bowl contenders, and I think they start off the season with a win. I think Mahomes needs this game. So I'm going to take the Chiefs. They're giving up 3.5, which is one of the worst picks you could ever take in football. Is a 3.5 spread. So we're going to have to money line it. Chiefs money line over the Cardinals on the road. It's an easy favorite. Next game is Vegas Raiders going to the Chargers. They got a little chemistry going back and forth between them and the Chargers, who are looking like definite AFC front runners. You know, the Bills obviously are number one, but they're up there in the front of the race. You know what I mean? Chargers have a great sophomore quarterback. He looks like he's on the right path, but then he's surrounded with weapons. You know, he's got a great wide receiver core, great quarterback backup. Austin Eckler is probably one of the most dominant players in the league when it comes to opposing his will. You look at the defensive pass rush they have, and there's no reason the Chargers won't win 10 games this year. So they're going to start it off against the Raiders, though, and this is actually a really, really tough game. And the only reason that I'm taking the Raiders is because I don't have enough upsets. So in my mindset, I'm thinking if I was to put together a 16-game parlay and take every single game, I would have to get every single game exactly right. So there's going to have to be upsets. And for this, I don't know if it's just going to be experience factor. Obviously, Raiders are no slumps either. They got the Renfro deal done. Josh Jacobs is out there. Derek Carr, a player capable of MVP-like stats, you know, is capable of turning that on any day. So there's no reason why he can't come out and have a great performance. And I've taken the Raiders in this game. I'll take the 3 points. You know, giving 3 and taking 3 is completely different. So I'll take that 3, at least get a push. You don't want to let one game kill your ticket, especially a stupid game like that. The next game is the Giants going to Tennessee. New York Giants are finally looking like they're in some type of healthy condition. I mean, Saquon's looking good. Daniel Jones is, I would assume, getting better. They're still committed to him. Same old wide receiver core, I guess. But Tennessee, on the other hand, has just been shipping people. They've shipped Julio Jones. They shipped Robinson. They shipped that one wide receiver out of there that had a great season. I guess they didn't want to pay him. Derrick Henry goes down with season-ending injury, and they leave it up to the quarterback to carry the team, and it's just not going to get it done. So anyway, I'm going to take the Giants in this game. Definitely take the plus 5 points. That goes a lot in this type of game. I think it's going to be a run-heavy game. Saquon obviously going to get 20-plus plays, and I think the same for Derrick Henry. They want to get him broken in. So we're going to take the Giants, take the plus 5. It's a good upset pick if you had to pick a game. That's a tough game to call either way. Last game for the Sunday schedule is Tampa Bay going to Dallas. It's going to be the Sunday night game. It's going to be the best game of the week. To see Romo sit up there and judge Prescott on how good he used to be and how good he could be, what he's doing wrong. And at the same time, you have the real GOAT on the other side, probably blowing him out. So in the Dallas Stadium, it's going to be a good show. But when it comes down to the matchup, Dallas is coming in as an underdog at home. It opened up at plus 1.5. It's one of those spreads that's going to be bouncing back and forth throughout the week. Tampa Bay, to me, obviously, should be a favorite to win the national, the NFC. So I don't understand how they come in this game as such small favorites. But I think Tampa Bay beats Dallas at every matchup point. I think they have better line matchups, wide receiver core, secondary definitely coaching. And Dallas still hasn't gotten rid of their worst player, which is Jerry Jones. So they're cursed, man. He's just, as long as he's running the show, they're not going to be able to get their shit together. But, see Prescott stay healthy. I think he has a 4,000-yard season. I think he has a lot to prove. Zeke looks good in preseason. They seem like they have the depth, wide receiver course there. I think CD has a great year. So I think Dallas does win a lot of games. But in this game, Tom Brady, Sunday Night Football, come on, man. Tell him to go out there and throw 4 touchdowns on these guys. So the last game on the schedule is this big Monday night game. We got Russell Wilson all snug as a bug at home in Denver. Now he's got to go to Seattle to see his boys. You know, I'm sure they're going to have an emotional hug ceremony where him and Pete Carroll go up and kiss each other on the lips. But Seattle coming in this game at pretty good underdogs, getting +6 at home against the Broncos. Broncos got a great wide receiving core, developing running back line. I don't know. I don't think there's really competition. Seattle looks terrible. I watched them in a few preseason games. Really not looking like they're where they need to be. I don't see them bringing in the talent. I see a lot of pieces missing blatantly. So definitely don't see Geno getting it done in general. You know, he should be solidified as a backup quarterback. If he's your only option, you need to get a rookie. So thank you guys for tuning in. That's the Week 1 lineup. I broke them down. Get you a 3-gamer out of there, you know. I might hit them all. I might put $5 on all of them and just change my whole week. So make sure you guys like and subscribe. Tune in next week. We're going to do it again. We'll have the percentages from this week so we can match it up to next week. And every week you can build more information, so you're going to get better, but you have to bet every week. So may all your bets.